Here's the exact blueprint we use to get 30 plus referrals per month for Chiros. So what types of practices does this typically work for? Wellness style practices, amazing for that. Holistic practices, rehab practices. And so if you're one of those, it's going to work for you. Also, anyone that wants to heal more patients and build a practice, focus on amazing patient experience. So as long as you're trying to build an amazing patient experience, this will work for you. So why listen to me? So I specifically have interviewed over 200 practices, distilled the referral info from the top five, doing 30 to 60 referrals per month. So this isn't just coming from me. It's come from literally 200 interviews where I found five practices. They're doing over 30 referrals per month, right? Anywhere between 30 and 60, which is absolutely wild. So it's all coming from them. All right, I've helped chiropractors like Dr. Amanda turn 3.8K investment into 20.6K, even when other companies couldn't in her area. Dr. Lonnie add an extra 10K revenue per month in just 9 weeks, even though she was nervous and hated sales. And then Virtue Body Labs multiply their business and add 8K profit and transform 22 patients' lives in our first 30 days working together when they were just launching. So all without changing how they treat patients or building a conveyor belt into their practice. So that's a key piece. We're not changing how you treat patients. We're just helping more patients show up at your door. So what we're going to reveal, the referral mindset. So the mentality that's led practices to 30 plus referrals per month. Number two, the experience builder. So the practical guide to over deliver on patient expectations and to get them so excited about you, they're begging to refer. Three, referrals on command. The framework to ask for referrals without sounding pushy or desperate, right? The key referral pit stop. So the checklist so that you never miss a single referral opportunity again, right? We want to make sure we ask them at the right times. Number five, the bonus, which is a 5-minute referral. So a simple method to get referrals booked without chasing them down. And then an extra bonus, explosive growth hacking. So we're going to give you 2 step-by-step strategies for explosive growth that have other chiros in your area studying your marketing playbook. Okay, so we're giving 2 bonuses here. So make sure you stay to see that. So basically, everything you need to bring in an extra 30 referrals per month. All that I ask is that you implement each of these steps so we can transform more lives together. Super simple, but that's the goal. So before we open up the playbook, some of these strategies are going to feel extremely simple. Okay, and I just want to remind everybody, like, simplicity is sophistication. That's something super important to internalize here. So some of you are going to say, hey, I've tried these things. They just don't work. Okay, but it literally does work. All right, this advice is from practices that are using it to get 30 to 60 referrals per month. So say it doesn't work. I don't think that makes sense. So just to like the fact that some chiros are amazing with their technique, while others don't get the same results because they don't do them correctly, it's the same thing. And it's not your fault, right? It's not your fault. People teaching this stuff consistently overcomplicate things. But if we just change a couple things, we'll be able to get there. As I said before, simplicity is sophistication. So we're going to make it simple for everybody. So we can either say, hey, it doesn't work, which serves absolutely nobody, doesn't serve you, doesn't serve your patients, doesn't serve your community, that's for sure. Or we can be the type of people who iterate on it and make it work for us. Okay. So if we can commit to that, let's dive in. So 5 parts to the referral mindset. Number 1, why should we ask for referrals? I always start with this with everybody, but there's really 2 questions I ask. Okay. Do you believe that what you do helps transform lives? I've never had somebody answer that with a no. And number 2, are there more people that you can heal and give hope to? Again, I've never had anyone say that they can't heal more people. And so if you know people are struggling and losing hope that they'll ever be healed, and you know you can help them, we'd just be doing them a disservice by not letting them know that we can help them. We can't force their hand to make an action, take the action to change their lives, but they should know that they have the opportunity. And so number 2 is daily asking goals. So from there, we know why we should refer, but how do we do that? So the first piece of this mindset is set a daily goal. Okay, this is super simple. The practice that I'm talking about, literally, they do 30 referrals every single month, very consistently. Sometimes they're going above that. All he's done since he started his practice, just one thing, is say, hey, I'm going to ask every single day, I'm going to ask 3 people to come in and give a referral. That's it. Like every single day for his entire practice for the last 20 years, that's all he's done. And now he has 30 referrals coming in every single month. And that's all he still does. So reward yourself for asking, right? We don't control the outcome, only the action. We're not going to be great at asking right at the beginning. We'll get better. And so pro tip, if you have multiple docs, create a positive reinforcement for asking for referrals. So like having some kind of win, some kind of incentive for people to just be asking and taking that daily action and marking that off the checklist. Like, yes, I did ask. I did go through these steps. I did the action. Number 3, have a great lead magnet. What is a lead magnet? All lead magnet is a hook that gets patients into the door. Okay, that's it. Like, what are we doing to get patients to come in and give us their time of day so we can share that we can actually help them? So the reason we do this, more patient flow, we want to get more people in the door. It means that you can handpick your highest quality patients. Okay. I have a lot of people tell me like, no, I only want qualified patients. And sometimes that doesn't really line up, because if you only want qualified patients, that's saying that you're never going to make a mistake with the people coming in. And that means that we have to eliminate everyone that could potentially not be a perfect patient before they even come in. When if we had a huge amount of flow, and and that feels desperate then, because then you're trying to convert everybody, because we don't have a lot of people coming that are good fits. But if we just let the gates open to let people come in, just see if we're a good fit, we can let patients know, hey, we are or we're not a great fit. And so we can pick our highest quality patients from that list of people that are interested. So most common lead magnets we've seen: an exam, discounted or free; adjustment, same thing, first visit; supplements is a bonus to that first visit if that's something you already do in your practice; massage, that is easily the thing that we've seen that is the absolute best when it comes to bonuses. But it's like a bonus, like, hey, for scheduling your first visit, this is what you're going to get, right? You're going to get decreased exam cost in a massage. Things like that dramatically increase the number of people, like 3x the number of people that are interested in coming in. Like, it's ridiculous. So just a note, the reason I talk about discounts, that kind of thing, and a lot of people have issues with that, but I just want people to think about, all the chiros out there, the impact and revenue goals that you have don't come from first visits. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they don't come from first visits. They come from the care that you provide and actually bringing health to people's lives, right? Actually helping heal people. And so I want to challenge us not to try and price our exams so high because it's the amount of time, when in reality, it doesn't lead to more revenue for your business, and also doesn't lead to more impact for your business. And so it's just something to think about. Okay. Just something to think about. And a pro tip here is have a limit on how many referrals people can give at a discount. Just a little nugget. People value scarcity, right? When there's scarcity, it implies value. And so if we think about this example, we think about, I think the gym industry. So I think LA Fitness or Planet Fitness, it's $10 a month, $30 a month, something like that. To have a monthly unlimited membership, you go to Orange Theory and it costs just about $200 for twice a week. And so just having that scarcity piece, I mean, there's a lot of other things that are different too, for sure, but having that scarcity piece implies that something is more valuable. So number 4, building the patient experience. It's a part a lot of you were waiting for. So I think the biggest thing here is starting off with, like, why people don't refer. Why is it that people don't refer? And so I want to take a second, like, if you have, a business in mind, like, just think of a random, let's take a restaurant. Why is it that you wouldn't refer a friend there, but you might still go? And I think, like, the easiest way to think about this, the easiest way to paint this picture, is by referring somebody to there. You might be a little bit afraid, like, they might not like the style of food, they might not like this thing I'm okay with, right? I'm okay with this thing, I enjoy this thing, but most people might not like this thing, and I'm a little bit afraid about the experience they're going to have when they come in. And so usually it's because you're putting your social credibility, you're putting yourself on the line, your reputation on the line when you refer, right? If the business treats your friend poorly, your friend's going to associate that with you. And so in the same way, that's how people are going to think about our practice. And so why people don't refer? Well, it's because they don't trust that they're going to have an amazing experience, that every single person is going to have an amazing experience. On the flip side, if they were like, hey, by the way, I want to refer you to this person, they're going to transform your life. You've been dealing with all this pain. They're going to help you, they're going to help you address the pain. They're going to help you get into health. They're going to help you rewrite your lifestyle. You're going to end up losing weight because they're going to put you on a nutrition plan. You're going to, like, you're going to find your wife, and you're going to, like, that's a different experience. And so if someone can speak to a friend like that, it changes up the way that people are willing to refer. So that's just something to keep in mind. We want to pay attention to the experience people are having if people are not willing to refer. So what's the goal of building the patient experience? This is now the second piece of the patient experience. And I think a lot of people miss the mark here. A lot of people I've talked to, they say, hey, it doesn't work when I do handwritten cards. It doesn't work when I do this extra thing. And I ask, like, just very curiously, like, what does that mean that it doesn't work? Like, what is the goal? Right? What do you mean? Is it like the envelopes didn't get sent, or, is there something else here? Like, but I think people rely too much on, like, one thing of building a patient experience to dramatically transform your business. And the truth is, there's no one thing that's going to transform your business when it comes to the patient experience. But every little improvement is going to lead to a dramatic impact on the end. And so that's the goal. The goal is to improve the patient experience, right? Like, it is actually to get people to have an expectation that is over delivered on. Okay. And that leads me to the next point. The key to the great patient experience is literally setting an expectation for what someone's going to receive and then over delivering on that expectation. There's some tacticals here we have for you, but that's all it is you set an expectation, you over deliver. So tactical improvements to the experience. So number 1, handwritten cards. I know I mentioned that. Handwritten cards to new patients are fantastic. Handwritten cards on patients' birthdays, handwritten cards. Just in general, sending handwritten cards does not take a lot of time, does not take a lot of money, but what it does show is that you actually care and you're spending the time outside of practice to think about them. And so it does go a long way when building this experience. Okay. People don't receive handwritten cards anymore. Like, just think about the last time you've actually received these. You're excited to open them because you're, like, curious about what's going to be inside. And that includes the envelope. Handwrite those as well. So another bottle of water given at the end of the visit, and a little story I want to paint. So when I was younger, first time I remember eating Chinese food, at least. I went, ate my meal, had my orange chicken, my lo mein, a little bit on the side. But the thing that surprised me is after I finished eating, my parents come and they give me a fortune cookie. And I was like, what is this? I didn't order this. And I eat it and I'm like, oh, this is delicious. Oh, and there's a fortune inside. Like, this is so fun, right? that's a little bit besides the point. But even today, when I go to Chinese food, like I have that expectation set. Like I want to have, like, I want my fortune cookie, right? Like this is like something I really enjoy. And even with that, when someone does bring an extra fortune cookie or something like that, I'm already pumped about the fortune cookie. They bring me an extra one. I'm like, I'm tipping extra. Like they over delivered on this. And so even though it's insignificant compared to the meal they provided me, that is something I'm thinking about during the meal. Okay. It's kind of like thinking about dessert while you're eating your food, right? Food's delicious, but you want your cheesecake, right? At Cheesecake Factory, whatever it is. Um, but giving a bottle of water at the end of the visit, fantastic way to start to build rapport with. Giving something tangible is an amazing way to do that. And if you want an extra premium experience, give a nice sparkling water, right? Can of sparkling water, fantastic thing that we can give. Okay, absolutely awesome. So nobody does that, right? Nobody does that. And that's why I lean into this, because it's unheard of. People don't do these things for patients, for clients, that kind of thing. No chiro practices do this. I only know of one that I've spoken to that does. And this is just amazing little tidbits to be able to build that patient experience. So next, number 5, ask for referrals in a genuine way without being pushy, without being desperate. How do we do that? Okay, cool. So we have a script for this. Let me know if you want that. But ask for referrals in a genuine way. All we have to do, step 1, find out a big win. And this should happen already, right? If you're talking to your wife or your husband at the end of the day, like, what is it that you ask? Well, you talk about their day. You ask how their day went. If it went well, you're like, okay, cool. What happened? Tell me the story. I want to hear this. And we forget a lot of time that we can treat people. We forget to treat people how we would, we want to be treated by the people that we love and care about. And so I think it takes some internalizing, like, what do we do with the people we love and care about, and how do we do that in our practice? So find out what's going on in their life. Did they have a big win? Are they feeling great? Do they pick up their kid again for the first time? Like, let's go celebrate that win, right? Number 2, ask for a Google review or video testimonial. These are fantastic. Highly recommend doing it right there and then. So it's like, hey, while I have you, thank you so much for sharing that. Like, I'm so pumped with you. Do you mind sharing this, on a quick review, or do you mind if we do a quick video testimonial? Because I would absolutely love if we could share your experience with other people, so they know we can help them too, right? Super simple. Most people will not say no, especially after telling you that they're feeling amazing. Okay. And then after that, they spend 3 to 5 minutes talking about how great you are, how much they love you. Then we ask, like, hey, do you know anyone else that might be interested? Do you know anyone else that's dealing with something like you were when you came in? Do you know anyone else that's dealing with anything, and you can list what kind of things you specialize in, but anything that we specialize in, right? And then here's the next step. The way that we, that extra bonus, or the bonus that we were talking about earlier, here's that step. Get connected right there and then via 3-way group chat. While you have them there, don't let them leave and say, hey, can you connect me later to that person, right? This is the piece many people, very few people that Chiros specifically, very few Chiros I've spoken to actually have this, but get connected via a 3-way group chat. It's the easiest way. You don't have to chase them down. They don't have to stress about trying to remember. People forget about referring their friend. But like, hey, do you mind real quick, while I still have you here, could you connect us via 3-way group chat, right? An extra bonus points, if you literally grab your phone and just take a selfie with the patient, trying to get this in camera, take a selfie with the patient and send that in the 3-way group chat. Obviously ask if that's cool. If like, hey, do you mind if I take this picture, and throw this in the chat? But the reason we ask for 3-way group chat, 1, you don't have to follow up, right? Way easier. And then number 2, it is way harder to ghost somebody that you've been mutually connected with when that person is in the room, right? Like, it takes someone very special to not respond after the doctor message and a friend message to connect them, right? And it's even easier if we're giving, like, hey, we're going to do a free, like, I would love to give them, since you gave me the time, would love to get them in for a free exam or free something, right? Just to get them in the door, right? And so with that said, just think about that. If, let's say Joe refers Sarah, and Sarah decides not to respond, Joe's gonna, chat with her like next week and be like, hey, like, what the heck? Like, I literally put my doctor in a group chat with you and you decided to ignore him. What is going on there? Like, what the heck happened? And so that is just something that we found has made it way simpler to get connected with patients. So next thing, diving into the 5 referral watering holes. So these are the pit stops, right? The key points in time that we're going to be asking for referrals so that we don't miss any of them. So the new patient first visit. Easy. This is so simple. Great time, right? Make it a standard to ask for a referral right after a patient commits to care. Why do we do this, right? What, does this feel weird? Maybe it does, but let's talk about it so it doesn't. Okay, so pro tip on this one, give a reason why they should start with a friend. Okay, and like the easiest way that we can talk about is like, hey, this person's trying to commit to making a life change, right? Building a different habit, making some kind of tactical change in their life that they haven't done before, or maybe they aren't doing now. And so if they're making that change, is it easier or harder for them to do that with somebody holding them accountable that's not just you, with somebody in their social circle that's also making that change? Is it easier to make a life change when your husband or wife is doing it, or is it harder to? And it's obviously, like, it's easier with the more people you have in your social circle that are doing something. And so we can just let them know, like, hey, we've seen that people that have a family member or a close friend that are doing this, get, as well, get better results. Like both people end up getting better results because it's that external accountability, right? You have that social circle around you that's also making life change. It's easier to lean on them. And so you can let them know, like, people get better results making life changes. And if we let them know that people get better results there, it becomes very easy for us to be like, okay, cool. Do you have anybody that we could start off with? Like, we'd love to get them started on that first visit for free, and just to get them in the door and see if they're a good fit. And like, that's a very easy thing to bring up right at the end and just include that. It'll feel a little uncomfortable at first, but it's an amazing place to ask. So next, new patient check-in calls. This is another thing. It builds up the experience as well. Calling new patients either the night of the appointment of the first visit or the day after, checking in. Hey, have you been able to hydrate like we talked about? Have you been doing the stretches we gave you? Have you been doing, whatever it is you talked about? And then we can ask, right? And we also have a script for this, but we can ask like, hey, do you know anyone else? Do you know anybody that we might be able to help in the same way you've already seen results with? Okay. It doesn't have to be, you've already talked to them about it being better for them. And if they said they have to think about it, it's a great time to bring that back up. Hey, now that you've thought about it a little bit, like, do you have anyone else that we could get in to start with you? That kind of thing. Super simple. It also shows that you care a lot. And so next is the front desk. I always like to preface this. We should always be asking how patients are feeling at front desk. It's going to improve the experience, but it's also a great way to get a referral or to get referrals there. And so here's what we have is like, we have a claimable referral voucher every week or every time they come in. And for it's a 50% discount for referrals first visit. Feel free to change that with whatever you want. But it's like, hey, every time somebody comes in, again, the scarcity piece, we're not saying, hey, you can refer everyone for a 50% discount. Saying, hey, every time you come in, I'm literally going to hand you a physical card. I'm going to ask you, hey, who can you think of that could use this? Who can you think of that could use a 50% discount on their referral? Do you know of anyone, right? Like, let me hand this to you. And some people are going to throw it in the trash right there. We don't want those patients as much, but others will actually think and be like, I either can or I can't, and they'll let you know. And that's totally cool if they can't, but if we give that referral voucher, we're doing the action. And so we're trying to increase the perceived value and get people excited about giving that referral. So next, on this card, usually I'd recommend like having something like this. So like, little warning, just so that people know why, like, hey, because we offer you such a steep discount for friends and family, we limit you to one free voucher per visit. So if you have that on the card, it's going to be a little bit like, people will just understand, like it'll be super simple. So next, QR code setup. This is amazing. So whenever you're asking for testimonial for a review, what we want to do is have easy ways for people to give the Google review right there and then. People don't want to ignore it. Like, people that agree to give you a Google review, and I promise this happen, or people that agree to give a referral, aren't just ghosting you and saying that they're, not doing it, but people just forget and they get busy. Like, if you've ever had anything that you had to get done for someone else's business or for someone else, and like, it just wasn't a priority because you had something come up with your family, that kind of thing, that's what people are dealing with every single day. And so whether or not they're extremely busy or they just feel like they are, everyone feels like they're extremely busy, by the way. Like, people will say that they feel that they're busier than you are. Like, it's crazy. But having this is just a quick way, like, hey, do you mind real quick while I have you here, and just changing up the verb to use for that when we ask for that testimonial right after, getting that big win helps a lot. Just have them, while I have you here, do you mind, scanning this QR code, doing this Google review real quick. So next, testimonial wall. This is really big, huge in the gym industry. I've only seen a couple chiropractors use it, but having a board of testimonials, they're like irrefutable evidence that you know what you're doing. Okay. That's huge. People are literally staring at that when they come in. So what I would say, it makes it easier for a couple things. Number one, we're building that rapport, right? That's given. But number two is it makes it super easy to ask for the testimonial and referral after a big win. And remember, we follow that framework. We ask for testimonial and then referral. So it makes it really easy to ask for testimonial because, like, hey, now that you're experiencing that, thank you so much. Can we leave a review just so we can get you up on the board? Like, and it's this exciting thing. Like, a patient graduates into being able to put their name up on the board as someone that's experienced a big win. And so number two, it's an easy way to share case studies with new patients. And I actually love it for this. It's kind of a sneaky way to do this, but it's hard to bring up like, oh, well, I helped this patient with this and share all your case studies. But if you have these reviews, when you walk through, quick office demo, quick office tour, you're just like, hey, this patient came in, they had migraines for 17 years. Yeah. Every single day. It's crazy. Like, and like they came in for 3 weeks and they were like cured. And you're just like, this was like crazy interaction, right? Or they came in for 3 weeks and they didn't have a migraine for 3 weeks. And it's like, wow, like that's crazy. Every single day for 17 years. And then all of a sudden they're way better. And you can share your best case studies when it comes to those kind of things. And it makes it really easy to do that in a very genuine way. So here's a referral SMS campaign that gets 8 referrals on average. So number one, we're going to break down the whole strategy here. So we're going to break down the whole strategy of this referral SMS campaign. It gets 8 referrals on average within an hour. Like, it's absolutely insane. So number one is we do some kind of seasonal offer. It's like a spring health reboot is something we've ran in the past. Summer special is something, but you could lean into holidays or some kind of season. The reason we do that, it just spices things up, changes things up, gives people an understanding for the reason why we're doing something, right? Next, we sell a gift card for a free first visit. Okay, I say free because we're selling a gift card. What we found is the best pricing is $10 for that first visit. And again, the goal is throughput. Just like if someone was referring a friend for a free exam or something like that, same exact deal, except we're getting paid for referral. Like it's actually a ridiculous deal for any business. And so selling gift card for a free first visit, super awesome. Bonus points if we don't just do a free exam, because not everyone's super excited about getting someone for exam, but a free massage, $10 gift card for free massage, $10 gift card for a free something, is a fantastic thing. Try other things, see how they work, as long as like the stipulation is like, hey, we're also going to do this exam, or we're also going to do this consultation on the side, right? Next, we do a limited supply. So we'll let them know like, hey, we only have 7, and we stick to that. We're not just trying to sell, 15 of them, but we do limited supply. We only have 7 available, and let them know that. Okay. And then the reason we say that, then we also let everyone know when we run out. And that means that next time, 2 months from now, we run it again, or every 60 days is roughly when we do it. Then we'll have people that are like, shoot, I missed out on that within an hour of getting a referral, right? And it doesn't have to be the number 7. Some people do 10, some do 15, like whatever it is. Some do 3. But whenever that runs out, people are like, oh, holy crap, like that went out so fast. Like I didn't even get a chance to see my phone. Next time they're going to be that much more on top of it, making sure that they actually give a quick reply. And so it just builds up that desire, right? Think of like any kind of clothing drop. When clothing, when like you have a big pre-sale and everything gets sold out within an hour, like that's exactly what we're trying to do here. So next, number 4, and this is super important, they must give you the name of the referral in order to claim it in Connect via text. And so we'll actually have them, if you have their card on file, just charge their card for the $10. But then they have to give you the name of the referral and connect you via text, or else they can't claim it. Like that, that's the stipulation. You actually have to get that person to schedule. All right, let's break down our 2 referral challenges, and these crush, like absolutely knock it out of the park. If it doesn't matter how big you are, how small you are, like these can do extremely well. So number 1 is the referral spree challenge. Okay. And that's like, we're going to be talking about this, but it builds up the patient experience, and it's just an amazing thing to do. Extra bonus points. If you do some kind of membership style practice, it's an even extra add-on you can throw in there that gets people super amped up. So that's really awesome. Number 2 is a social media challenge. And this is pairing businesses against businesses. Let's dive into them, starting with the referral spree challenge. So how it works, each referral the people give counts as a point. The patients with the most friends and family members referred at the end of the month wins. Like that's simple. But let's dive in. We do a 6-week challenge. 6 weeks we found is like a good length of time for either one, and a good length of time to make it make sense for you too. And so the goal for us is to get as many referrals through the door as possible. We want to do whatever it takes, give whatever bonuses, incentivize people, bring it up with people, do whatever it takes to bring them in, right? Again, exams aren't what makes your business the most revenue, right? It's also not what gets patients the life-changing results they're looking for. That comes from the treatment. And so next is the setup. We manually track all referrals into referred. Google Sheets, simple way to do it. It's not that crazy. We just display a whiteboard in the office with the top leaderboard rankings, right? It's super simple. You just get a quick little whiteboard and you display it for everyone to see. Like, hey, here's the top 5 or here's the top 10, right? Update daily, display it from the office so your regulars see it each time they come in. Make sure to show the prizes written up. Yeah, that's a big piece. Like we want to have prizes listed around the room. We'll talk about what those look like, but we want those around. All right, next is remind regulars of the challenge each visit. Like, hey, have you had anyone else come in? Like, just a reminder, like we got this thing coming on, and we want to be excited about it. It doesn't feel like we're pestering people about, continuously bringing it up again and again. If we're excited, if we're genuinely like, hey, just wanted to check in, like, are you, how are we going to win this? What would you do? Asking questions like, what would you do if you won this prize? That kind of thing. And there's some pretty sweet prizes here. But next is help your patients give referrals. And so having the QR code with the details of the challenge, good tips about the easiest way to make the most possible referrals. And then we let them know like, hey, making a 3-way group chat's the easiest way to get them in the door. And we'll give you, you can even give them like little testimonial blurb about yourself so that they can, they don't have to think about it. They can just like be like, oh, I've had an awesome experience with doctor whatever your name is, and then send that out to a friend, that kind of thing. And then next pro tip is like, any new referrals you can give like an extra 50% discount on the eval/exam plus adjustment to make it easier to boost referrals. So that's just this. All these are little golden BBs that make it easier for people to refer. Next is prizes. So decide based on your practice size. For context, based on chiro averages, right? 2 extra referrals that actually start care will pay for all these prizes. So just taking averages, and you might not be that practice. That's okay. We just change the price a little bit. Still work for you. And if we're not able to get an extra 2 referrals, there's probably something wrong with how we're running the campaign, right? So first place, we do something like $1,000 weekend getaway. And like, this is just like, people don't do that. Small businesses specifically don't do that. And by small business, I mean like local businesses do not do that. And so finding a way to implement this, we should be able, if we're doing it wrong, if we're not able to get way more referrals, then what's going to add up to that revenue? And so second place, $250 date night to a fancy restaurant of your choice, right? And you can have like pictures of the restaurants that you have as the options. For the weekend getaway, you can have some hints, right, about around the office about like, hey, here's some scenery of where it is you're going, right? It might be a place a couple hours away, pay for the hotel, pay for date nights, whatever it is. And third is like a $50 gift card to a coffee shop, something like that, something that a lot of people could buy. And then anyone who participates, this is the key, will receive a voucher for 75 off or a free exam and adjustment. If you have time and you don't have money, trade the time. Like spend the time with more patients and you will be earning the money you want to earn, right? But we could do some kind of discount on the exam plus an adjustment, and then it has to be gifted to a first-time patient, right? And just let them know that. But here's some great prizes. And then to launch, 2 weeks before launch, what it is we do. Well, like I'm literally giving you all the secrets here. So like we preview the event to all regulars, get them excited, tell them to start thinking about people who might be in need of care. We suggest they make a list of people because there's a huge prize on the line. Let them know you're giving away a weekend getaway. Just don't share the destination, right? We want to get people excited, open that loop, that mental loop of like, oh shoot, I don't know what it is though. And then a week before launch, you can bring in the leaderboard with the whiteboard, hype it up, start the month with a QR code, paste it on that whiteboard or magnet it onto the whiteboard. Share the destination, trip details, pictures attached to the whiteboard, have a video and pictures attached with the QR code, right? The pro tip is the more real you make the possibility for them to win, right, the more likely they're going to be to take action. So asking them questions like if they've ever been to the destination, having pictures of the place, other prizes in your practice, lean into exciting them about the experience they'll have if they'll win. Okay. Next, we want to bring up the referral challenge in a natural way in every visit. So as always, keep asking for referrals. It's just a doubly awesome deal for them if they get entered into the raffle as well, right? Like you're already asking for referrals, you're already asking for testimonials, you keep doing that. But then if they give the referral, it's like, okay, cool, you get a raffle entry. Like, let's go. That's awesome. And then after the event, give some type of bonus prize to everyone that gave a referral. Don't let patients know you're doing this beforehand. It's extra bonus, right? Set expectations, over deliver. Dinner with the doc, coffee with the doc are great options, etc. Patients that refer are truly your best patients, so treat them like it. Okay. Those are the people that you love. Generally, those are the people you love, and those are the people who love you. So the business versus business social media challenge. All right, let's dive in real quick. So this is actually awesome for new practices. Okay. So I'm going to share this case study, and this was actually Virtue Body Labs in Stillwater, Oklahoma. This was like within their first year of being open. Okay. And so like you can see like even today, they don't have like a crazy following on Instagram, but they have a lot of people engaging. And so 476 followers, like that's it, right? Nothing crazy. This is like when they just started, and they still were able to get 411 likes and over 20,000 comments on the single post. Okay. And so we're going to break down how this actually works. But basically, we have businesses. In their case, they did sororities because they're next to Oklahoma State. And so they target all the sororities and they set up posts for each sorority here. And so, all the main ones on campus. And as you see, some of them were more engaged than others, but they set up a challenge. And it was like, hey, whoever wins this is going to get a prize. And so let's dive in. So basically it was this message: Oklahoma State sororities, we got a competition for you. Like and share a comment, each earn you 1 point. So be sure to get the word out there fast. This competition ends 11:59 p.m. on Thursday the 14th, right? And the winning chapter gets 50% off all massages the entire week of Mom's Day. And so the reason was that it was Mom's weekend, which is basically just like all the moms for a school come up and that kind of thing. But it was an awesome thing for them to run. And then we let them know like, hey, the winner's announced. It was a week leading up to Mom's Day. But they absolutely crushed it. Like the number of people coming into the practice that next week were insane. And I actually played a role in this. Like this is like my intro to marketing, like trying to build up strategies for Chiros. So like this was an awesome thing for myself as well. But we found that it really does work. And so to launch this, we're going to post about the competition, right? We're just going to post an overview video of the challenge that hypes up the free thing they'll be getting. Okay. So that's one simple thing. Make one post for each group you're setting up against each other. Tag the businesses, the owners, any staff you can find, as well as any members and clients. Right? The more people we tag, the better. And you don't have to tag them in the initial message. You can just tag them on the actual post afterwards. We don't need to tag 1,000 people, right? If we find the 10 key people that matter, that's all we need. But have a description for the event with each post. Okay. So halfway through the competition, we can also post a video hyping up the experience in your practice up. We want to get people to actually take advantage of the offer. So it's important to get them excited about like taking you up on the bonus massage for Virtue's case after the competition. And then a little bonus here, something that I personally did when we launched this, and why a lot of it kept going throughout the 3 days that we were running it. Basically I would look at all the comments and I would see who was commenting the most, and I would tag them and I'd be like, hey, like, love the work you're putting in here. Like, keep it up. Almost there. And I would start tagging them in the comment section, right? A couple people here and there from each sorority in the comment section to keep that engagement up, to keep people reminded like, oh, we got to keep doing it, and they'd be tagging other people, and awesome. It was just an awesome experience for the whole community. Everyone in Stillwater was talking about it. And so after the event, make a post announcing the winners, let people know to DM you, to schedule, DM every single participant individually that engaged with your post with some message explaining the prize and how it works. Okay. So it'll help increase bookings dramatically. So everyone's engaged. We don't just want to let them go and like make that post about who won. Like that's great and all, but if we actually message them individually, that'll make it so much simpler. And if you want to really keep track of this in a very easy way for how many people come in from this promotion or from this special, from this challenge, really, all I would do is like let people know in that post to DM you to book. And then once anyone books, make sure you set the right expectation about the length of the appointment. Meaning, I would always try and get them in for the massage or for the thing that you're giving them, plus either the exam for free or for a discount or a consultation. Consult works as well. And then you can book an exam from that. That way you can spend less time and see who's a great fit first. But also let them know they'll be getting a free consult and exam to start so we can really understand what they've been dealing with. So that's an easy way to do it. So here's an example DM that you can send. Feel free to change it however you want. Just take a look at it. Hey, thanks for participating in our social media challenge, giving out prizes and bonus prizes to everyone that's won since you all pushed so hard. Do mornings or afternoons work better to schedule your, and then we label the prize, and then it's, just check out our original post for details and we can link that. So super simple, but that increases throughput dramatically.